important reminder. All information and ideas are for informational purposes only and are in no way intended as medical advice or as a substitute for medical counseling. Earthshift Products, Dr. Robert Cassar, all of their partners, affiliates, and subsidiaries will not be held accountable for the use or misuse of the information presented therein. This information is not intended as medical advice. The authors, publishers, and speakers of this work are not medical doctors and do not recommend the use of mineral-deficient foods, drugs, or medicines to achieve beauty and to alleviate health challenges. Because there is always some risk involved, all persons involved with the development and distribution of this information are not responsible for any adverse effects or consequences of any kind resulting from the use or misuse of any suggestions or procedures described on our website or Earthshift Live radio talk show or therein.
We will then teach what we know by practicing what we know. Join us as we venture forth and confront the experience of what was once the great unknown in order that we may relay that knowingness to others who have yet to encounter the shifting tides of our reality as we create it.
Thank you. That was very well said. I have spent a lot of time in the business world, in the spiritual world, in the economic world. And I have watched a lot of people in the health world. I've also participated in that. And one of the things I noticed, when people started eating more healthy, when they started eating less dense foods, more superfoods, more raw foods, not only physically did they change, I lost 25 pounds, but they also changed emotionally, spiritually, mentally. And this was very noticeable. And if you are not understanding what I'm talking about, play with it. Change your diet and you'll notice that your person...
The sickness is a vibratory tune, okay? The body's an energy bracket. The brain, of course, or the mind is a frequency bracket. And this is a simple formula, mathematical formula. The energy and the vibration equals this thing called consciousness. And so we know that the body's the key to the mind, and we know that the mind has to perform and move this body to be able to terrain modify itself to a different motion. So this is what this is all about right now. This is a little bit complicated, but it's not. We're changing our bodies to a vibrational tune. And so first of all, we have to understand and know that we're full of arsenic, we're full of thallium, we're full of stainless steel, lead, mercury, tin, insecticides, pets, our bodies up, causing us to become overweight or sick, tired. So the manipulation that we're doing here is called terrain modification. You're not going to kill anything. You go to the doctor now, and the doctor, remember the doctor, the one that has the degree, show me your degree. He does. Puts his card out and he shows he's got an MD, DC, she's got a ATSAT, whatever degree. This degree that you got from one of the schools that I went to too, that taught me really pretty much nothing. As I say, and I hate to say this, but this is the truth. Take your clothes off and show me your pedigree, because then I know you know about terrain modification, and that's why we're coming here. We're coming to doctors and different people because you know that they know. They know how to terrain modify themselves, and not by diet. No, you're going to eat good foods. You're going to eat live foods. You're going to eat foods that have vibrancy, minerals, and best of all, non-contaminated foods. We'll go through a few things here, because I'm just going to rip through a few things here, Casey. Let's start out with, remember, the body's a vibrational tune. The brain's a frequency. So if you wanted to change this thing called consciousness that Robin and Mark is talking about, because you can't talk about consciousness until you bloody well get some. Because you have to back yourself up. And remember, it's not to talk about between other people. Consciousness can't be talked about. It can only be experienced. This is a weird thing. And some out there, you can always go ahead and look back at yourself. When you were 20 years old, you really thought you were really smart, didn't you? I did. My 13-year-old son, where is he? He thinks he's smart. Because I remember when I was 13, I knew everything too. And when I got 20, I knew even more. And when I got 30, I said, whoa, I don't know so much. And when I got 40, I said, whoa, I'm really been misinformed. I know a lot, but it doesn't really ring to the table I call sustainability. It rings to the table of slavery. Okay? Slavery to me is that we keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, and we get this idea called insanity. Nothing happens out of it but the same bloody thing over and over and over again. So if everybody in the United States is 75 million diabetics happening here, remember that, 75 million diabetics, I wouldn't do what they're doing. You got 82.5 million people that are 30 pounds plus overweight, I wouldn't do what they're doing either. And all you have to do is really push a cart in Costco and check out the herd. Just check out the herd. Put a few things in there too. So, put a little Gatorade in, put some high fructose corn syrup in there, because I know you know, at least you're going to know now. Google high fructose corn syrup, mercury poisoning. I didn't make this up. That machine's telling you the truth if you can actually see some of the truth, you can feel some of the truth, hear some of the truth, or you're actually not too toxic to understand some of the truth. Because most of this stuff is that I really like to only work with 18 to 30-year-olds. I'm not being discriminatory, because most of the people over 30 are too toxic. They're too busy, they're too poor, or they're too sick. And I'm not saying poor here. It's up here. Scarcity. The younger people, they don't want to go to school to go ahead and be like their parents. I don't think so. Sit on the freeway, bitch every week about money, and complain about what? Too many job hours? Got to get a job? What are you going to do when you grow up? I'm going to be a conscious and genetic example. How about that? Okay? I mean, that's a new game. Remember, this game here is Stanford. But Stanford doesn't actually offer any degrees in genetic enhancement and conscious enhancement. Because, of course, if you had this movement, then, of course, you wouldn't be playing their game. And what's their game right now? It's unsustainability. It's to be able to actually remember, we're here not as there's not a negative system here. We know that we have to create our own. If not, then go into the system and go ahead and see if you can actually manage it. I feel sorry for every 20-year-old teenager right now, because when Robin and I was 20, and Rachel was 20, and John the Baptist was 20, and Elizabeth and everybody else that's here, Parthenia, all of us. When we were 20, we had lots of different opportunities. We didn't talk about the avian bird flu, mercury, such and such, bombs going off, and actually all the things that we talk about every day, in and out, every day. So the big game here is that we now have the ideas that we can go ahead and actually fix ourselves. How do we do that? We do this in this club. I can't tell you what to do because I'll go to jail. Okay? I'm practicing medicine. I'm only showing you what I do. People say, hey, how'd you get your body so lean? How'd you make it so you can do the splits when you were disabled before? Okay? And couldn't. I couldn't even touch my toes about 4 or 5 years ago, basically. And this is because I've modulated my terrain. Okay? So modulating terrain, just like, remember, Robin, I used to work on you, and you'd say, you're doing me too hard. You remember Rachel. I'd pound Rachel.
Quite that much.
Okay, I'd pound Rachel. Okay? And Robin has different accumulational particles. Remember, women put tampons 5,000 by the time you get 50. That's pretty weird, especially when they're full of perchlorates, chlorine, insecticides, pesticides, and herbicides, and we wonder why we're so toxic. Okay? Whatever toxins you accumulated, whatever I accumulated, whatever you accumulated, remember, this sojourn is going to be different for you. And that's why everybody needs a partner here. His partner was this beautiful companion here. And these guys, they work passionately and enthusiastically. Because, oh, yes, they suffer a little bit to change, haven't you guys? In a good way.
Yeah. And we actually spend a half an hour to an hour a day just working on each other.
Totally.
Yeah.
You want to see the secrets of this? It's called discipline. And if you want to get this sponge clean, you have to learn how to use solvents. You have to learn how to use acid solvents and alkaline solvents. Okay? This is what I do. It's changed me significantly. Okay? Life is actually learning some of these secrets, and you'll notice that these secrets really don't cost any money. That's one of the reasons why they're a big secret. So now, I can look at Robin now, and I know that he's not the same guy. I can look at Mark. He's not the same guy. Okay? Casey, he's 40 pounds. Okay, I saw his picture there. Muscle head like me. Okay?
I changed so dramatically that people would come up to me and say, what did you do? What happened? What's going on with you? It was so profound that I would spend an hour talking to one person at a time, and it was telling the story so many times I thought it might be a lot easier just to tape record it or film it and then tell them to go to YouTube and watch it, because it was taking too much of my time to explain to people what had happened. And a lot of what happened was a result of Roberto's message on health.
But my message of health is only actually acceptable to those that actually can see this truth. Because if you're too busy, too poor, like I said, not poor in your pocket, but up here too busy, too poor, too sick, then these ideas really don't have room for this older consciousness because it's already too busy. So when you start changing your foods, you get more room up here because your brain starts to vibrate faster. Remember the body, and you're going to get this after this talk. This body is an energy machine. It's an alkaline battery. It's made up of calcium, potassium, sodium, magnesium, zinc, boron, silicon, plus other chemicals. Okay? But chemicals, I'm not talking about synthetics. We're talking natural. This body's a DC current. Natural current is not alternating current. We'll go ahead and go through a few things here a little later here, but number one problem that we have at this time, and everybody here wants to say, I want to detox, I want to clean my life up. Well, let's clean your life up before you think you're going to start taking things out of it. Shower to chlorinator. Yes, you do need one, or you need to be able to take these metals out of your shower, out of your everyday cleanliness. How about everyday toxicity? Okay? We have these systems, and remember, everything here is wholesale. The game is, you find it for yourself, it's okay. And if it's something better than what we got, easier, efficient, and economical, then show me so we can replace it. There's no game here on this side. We've had to go ahead and actually design everything that pretty much we're selling now and doing is only because it doesn't bloody exist. And people say, what do you eat, Robert? Well, what I eat is not what I used to eat last year and what I used to eat last year and the year before. It's the yellow brick road.
Not even what you used to eat a month ago.
Totally. Totally. I mean, I go to Robin's house, I feel like I'm going to my own house. He's got everything I got at my house. Total superfoods, blenders, magnetic blenders. He's sleeping on a grounded blanket. He's utilizing ether stones and he's playing around with machines, of course, that most people can't buy because we're just testing them. We're finding out before I share with you people, is this really worthy to buy and spend $1,000 on or $2,000? And if you only had a couple thousand to transform yourself, where would you put it? Would you go buy this water machine for $4,000? I think not. Okay? Would you go ahead and go to Hawaii and just go there because you think you need a rest? Do you think that's going to help you? I think not. It will, but not what you have. Remember, the body is an energy bracket, and it's tuned by the physicality of itself.